We begin in Kaduna, where the air component of Operation Wall Punch has eliminated at least 30 terrorists and kidnappers in airstrikes along Quiga-Kampanin-Doka axis in Kaduna, in Birnin Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. Director, Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Gapwet Edward, revealed this in a statement on Monday in Abuja. Gapwet said the strike followed intelligence received on the movement of the criminal elements along the axis. He further disclosed that the intel had revealed that the same syndicate was responsible for the ambush of troops at Kwanamutua on January 27, as well as several attacks and abductions of innocent Nigerians in the Birnin Gwari general area. Air Vice Marshal Gapwet added that a deliberate and detailed scan revealed a trail of terrorists moving in a convoy of about 15 motorcycles, each conveying 2 armed terrorists. The current security challenges in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, is witnessing an improvement as the police continues to push back on the operations of kidnapping syndicates in the FCT. 5 recently kidnapped victims who have regained their freedom are speaking on their experience in captivity. Noel Samson was at the force headquarters and now reports.
The victims who were kidnapped at different times and at different locations in the FCT described their experience as horrific, adding that no one should be exposed to such dehumanizing treatment.
It was quite an experience, early hours of 9 p.m. or so, where I wasn't really conscious of the time because we were just coming back from work, and then we encountered them on the road and they opened fire. The last thing I remember was that they took my phone and they took me away. But they shot the gunshots they fired actually hit my wife on the neck. She still has it.
I just give all glory to God, because as a Christian, all I was doing then, I was not thinking about anything. All I was doing was just prayers, because I didn't see myself being killed. We got to a certain point, they started asking us to identify our phone, we should unlock it. Funny enough, the guys were not even able to operate smartphones, so they were asking us to unlock it and switch it off.
So we are praying at the mountain around that time 1:30 a.m. We saw a group of Fulani with gun and machetes surrounded us, and they started demanding for money and our handsets, and we surrendered our handsets to them because that's what we have. After which they started looking for few they can carry and go and leave the rest, and they choose I and this brother and this sister.
Meanwhile, the command has reiterated its commitment to safeguard the life and property of FCT residents.
I wish to inform the general public that several hideous crimes have been prevented by the FCT Police Command without people knowing. The FCT Police Command is always committed and will always be committed to work with you residents of FCT, Federal Capital Territory, to defeat crime and criminality. We all need your cooperation and support by using most of these emergency numbers to report any crime or when you notice any mysterious movements and strange faces within your environment.
The command urged FCT residents to cooperate with the force by availing it of information that will aid its officers in the discharge of their policing duties. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Oyo State government has continued to receive condolence from well-meaning Nigerians who are visiting the state in the aftermath of the Bodija explosion that hit the state on January 16, 2024. Well, it has been reported that the Labour Party presidential candidate in the 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, is the latest to visit the state to extend his condolence to the state government and the people of Oyo State over the recent incident. The report.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, while receiving Obi, thanked the 2023 presidential candidate for identifying with the state at its trying time. Makinde, who expresses displeasure with the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, whom he said is yet to show empathy for affected residents of the Bodija blast, pledged to widely publish the report on the cause and perpetrators of the blast in Ibadan. He said politics of bitterness will continue to slow the socio-economic growth and development of the country.
I'm particularly grateful because the president called me. You're three musketeers that went for that election. The president has reached out to me. You have reached out to me. But my own party candidate, not even a call or a text message. I mean, I'm saying it openly so that our leaders will know that you have time for politics, you have time for governance, and you have time for humanity. So we want to say thank you so much, sir, and we appreciate this visit.
In his remarks, 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi applauded Governor Seyi Makinde over what he described as the prompt response to the blast incident and called him to set up a support facility for the victims while a thorough investigation continues.
We're basically here to pay our condolences to the governor and the good people of Oyo State on the recent bomb blast. To be able to, through him, extend our condolences to the bereaved families and all those who lost their valuable properties and everything. Assure them of our prayers that God will grant all those who lost their life eternal rest and those who lost their assets, the opportunity. Maybe also to thank the governor for his prompt response. That's what governance should be.
5 people were reportedly killed in the blast which rocked Ibadan on the 16th of January 2024.
In other news, the Supreme Court has reserved judgment in the appeal filed by the All Progressives Congress and its governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Aishatu Dahiru Binani, against the election victory of Governor Ahmadu Umaru. The tribunal and the Court of Appeal had dismissed Binani's petition challenging the victory of Governor Fintri in the March 2023 governorship exercise. The 5-member panel led by Justice John Okoro adjourned the matter for judgment after listening to the arguments of parties involved in the matter. The main contention of Binani through her counsel, Akin Olujimi, at the day's proceeding is that the controversial declaration by the now ousted resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Ari, was lawful. Elsewhere, a former speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly, Olakunle Oluomo, and 2 other persons involved in the arraignment, or rather involved, or have been arraigned rather, before the Federal High Court sitting in Oke Mosan in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, over allegations of misappropriation of public funds to the tune of 2.5 billion naira. The former speaker, alongside others, are allegedly said to have committed the fraud while he was in office as Speaker of the State in 2022. 18 out of the 22 House of Assembly lawmakers signed for his impeachment over alleged high-handedness, gross misconduct, poor leadership, lack of focus and transparency, as well as pitching members of the State House of Assembly against each other. But he approached the State High Court to challenge his removal as Speaker. On Monday, shortly after the trio entered the dock, the court discovered that the counsel to the anti-graft agency was not in court for the hearing. The case has been adjourned to 29th of February and 1st of March. The trial of chairman of Ibeto Energy Development Company, Cletus Ibeto, over an alleged 4.8 billion naira fraud was on Monday stalled at the Lagos High Court sitting in Ikeja owing to the return of the case filed by the trial judge, Justice Ismaila Ijelu to the Chief Judge of the court, Justice Kazim Alugba. Justice Ileju told lawyers that the case could not proceed until the judge decides on the various petitions by the defense challenging jurisdiction of the court to hear the case, as well as the accusations against him of bias. Last year, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had charged the defendant before the court alongside his companies, Ibeto Energy Development Company and Odo Holdings Limited, on a 10-count charge bordering on allegations of conspiracy, fraud, forgery, and fraudulent use of documents. At the resumed hearing of the matter on Monday, Justice Ileju says the case cannot go on because the case file has been returned to the Chief Judge due to the many petitions, advised parties to liaise with the administrative judge to know what step to take next. The judge then adjourned the case indefinitely, awaiting the decision of the various petitions written by the defendant. The Nigerian Bar Association section on Public Interest and Development Law has urged a court to sack the Minister of Art and Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musa, from office for allegedly violating the National Youth Service Corps Act. The organization also asked the court to compel the NYSC to nullify the certificates given to Musawa and a music promoter, Kenny Ogumbe, alleging that the issuance of certificate was contrary to the provisions of the NYSC Act. Musawa, Ogumbe, NYSC and the federal government are the first to fourth defendants in the case, respectively. The plaintiffs allege that the mobilization of Musawa and Ogumbe for the mandatory one-year National Youth Service after exceeding the age of 30 was unlawful, illegal, and an affront to patriotism. They also allege that Musawa and Ogumbe's purported national service and the certificate of service purportedly issued by the NYSC should be declared null and void. This is Trust News Update. Coming up ahead. Naira free fall negatively impacts prices of medical drugs in Nigeria. More on this and many other stories up ahead after the break. Welcome back to the news and thank you very much for staying with us. Let's take another look at the headlines. Nigerian Air Force eliminates over 30 terrorists on 15 motorcycles in Kaduna. 5 rescued kidnapped victims share their ordeals. Now, the Nigerian Navy NNS Pathfinder Port Harcourt in Rivers State on Monday paraded 11 arrested suspects with suspected items used for construction of illegal refineries at Bili in Degema local government area of the state. The suspects were handed over to the Rivers State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. Handing over these suspects to the officials of NSCDC, the commander NNS Pathfinder Port Harcourt, Navy Commodore Desmond Ibo, who was represented by the base operation officer Commander Said Mohammed Kabir, said its base tactical response and assault squadron intercepted a boat with 11 crew members. Commodore Desmond says the suspected crew members were laden with 10 metal plates, 14 angle iron, as well as 20 gas cylinders suspected to be items to be used in illegal refinery construction. He says the items were carefully concealed in a wooden boat and were headed to a construction site where the suspected materials are to be used for the construction of illegal refinery sites in the creeks. Nigeria is grappling with the formidable challenge of soaring medicine prices, amplifying the strain on its healthcare system. Pharmacy operators navigating the turbulent waters of exorbitant exchange rates are finding it increasingly difficult to import vital pharmaceuticals, triggering a ripple effect on the nation's health landscape. Between July and September last year, pharmaceutical imports surged to an alarming 81.81 billion naira. However, beyond these staggering figures lies a difficult reality unfolding in the lives of ordinary Nigerians. Ibrahim Ismail reports.
The naira continues its downturn spiral, reaching an alarming exchange rate of 1,425 naira against $1 in the black market as of Monday, January 29, 2024. This sharp decline carries profound economic consequences, casting a shadow on the prices of imported goods, particularly essential items like medicines. Caught in the crossfire of this storm is Zayanu, a 30-year-old responsible for a family of 6. The relentless surge in medicine prices, fueled by the soaring exchange rate against the naira in the black market, has left Zayanu grappling to meet the healthcare needs of his family. As the economic challenges intensify, the daily lives of ordinary Nigerians bear witness to the tangible impact of the currency's freefall. Medicine that we once bought 200 naira now sell for 500 naira, while those that were 1,500 are now 4,000 naira. The escalating cost of drugs are exacerbating the already dire economic conditions in the country. This unfortunate situation is making it increasingly challenging for people to access essential medication, further compounding the difficulties imposed by the economic downturn.
Like I came this morning, my mom was asked to get Alphagan because she's having glaucoma. So when I got to the pharmacy, they said 5,500. And last month I bought it for 4,700. And they are saying it's 5,500 today. So the prices of drugs have gone up. The other day I went to buy a Moxil Emzor product, and they said 2 cats was
one antibiotics like that for my head because I'm having a typhoid as at then. The price I normally buy it for like 1,500 naira, but now I later bought it at the rate of 2,500, which is too high.
When I complain about malaria, they give me at the rate of 1,000. But sometime before, when I go to a local shop, I treat malaria drug at the rate of 2,000 something. So you check the differences, you understand? So that is exactly the difference about the drugs. There are some paracetamol of 70 naira before, now it's 150.
Discussing the volatile exchange rate, economist Yusha Aliyu emphasized the catastrophic impact it is having on the economy.
We have to be mindful of this inflation because if we continue to demand exchange rate, not for transaction purposes, not for trading purposes, but for safekeeping, we are creating things that will never normalize, no matter what central bank is trying to apply to stabilize the market.
With the naira losing its strength in the black market, citizens heavily rely on imported pharmaceuticals for essential medications. To ensure accessibility to medicines at affordable rates, the federal government needs to champion local production efforts and foster a conducive environment for the growth of pharmaceutical companies. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Well, in its determination to address the backlog of verified foreign exchange transactions, the Central Bank of Nigeria has released $500 million to various sectors in the economy. This comes barely a week after the Apex Bank paid approximately $2.0 billion to settle outstanding commitments across manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum sectors. The acting director of the Corporate Communications Department at the Central Bank, Hakama Sidi Ali, said the management of the CBN is committed to settling all legitimate foreign exchange backlogs within a short time frame. She therefore urged all participants in the market to play by the rules, stressing that transparency in the market would enable fair determination of exchange rates. On the international scene, Iran on Monday denied any links to a drone strike in Jordan that killed 3 U.S. military personnel and said it was not seeking, quote, an expansion of a conflict in the Middle East. The killing of 3 American troops on Sunday in a strike in Jordan marked the first U.S. military losses in the region since the Israel-Hamas war began. U.S. President Joe Biden said, quote, radical Iran-backed militant groups operating in Syria and Iraq were behind the strike on the frontier base in Jordan's northeast. British Foreign Secretary David Cameron reiterated a call for Iran to, quote, de-escalate in the region. Iran has previously said it sees as a duty to support what it calls resistant groups in the region, but insists they are independent in decision and action. Sunday's strike also left 34 personnel wounded, 8 of whom require evacuation, according to U.S. Central Command. Talking sports now. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen said he wants to give Nigeria something to remember amid as the current Africa Cup of Nations tournament continues to take shape in Ivory Coast. Osimhen has been one of the standout performers in the AFCON as he helped Joe Pesaro's side reach the quarterfinals. The Napoli attacker troubled the Cameroonian defense during the last 16 encounter over the weekend as he sets up Ademola Lookman for Nigeria's first goal. The 25-year-old has only scored 1 goal in the Africa Cup of Nations tournament, which was against Equatorial Guinea. Osimhen will hope to lead the Nigerian Super Eagles to victory when they face Angola in the last 8. Well, that's it on Trust TV News Update. Thank you for joining us. Follow us as always across our social media platforms to catch up with more content. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for your time.